Okay, just doing a quick video here. Down here, that's better. Down here is the this is the roof mechanism for the Porsche 911 996, and we've got the bolts. Sorry, the nuts off right down the bottom there. So right down here, there's one nut that comes off there, and whoops, pull that out of the way. Another nut that just comes off there, so that's pretty easy. This arm here has, just in case it's not me that ends up putting this back together again or die or something, this here has these two fellas here that hold them on. So basically, when this fits back over here, this is the hydraulic arm that pushes basically this whole system up and down. We might just pull that off actually out of the way just for now. You know what? Actually, there's no need. There's no need. It can just stay right there. The more I'm thinking about it, saves putting it on backwards, isn't it? So those little clips just go straight back on there. Now what happens here is this line, hydraulic line, has to be unclipped, and basically right along, as you'll see here. And the idea is, you have to get this sort of right, is that, as you'll see here, they have a return and so basically a pump here. So not to be confused, red goes to this side here, and what's the colour of the other one? I don't think the other one doesn't have a colour. Okay, but the basically these both have to come off the hydraulic pump here, and once you've got those off, you'll end up with these two leads free to go and get your leaking hydraulic fella here, which it definitely is leaking, to your hydraulic place. There's a place in Queensland that doesn't, but I'm thinking maybe our guys, if they've got the seal kit, might be able to do it here in Albury, hopefully. There's a hydraulic place there. Actually, might be Wodonga, come to think of it. But this is one of my long-term projects that I've just been meaning to get back to, and it's not a hard one. Once we've got the hydraulics pushing this roof section back and forth, when it came in, initially it had a bit of lift in it, but you could see the lag in it. And the minute we saw the oil leak down the bottom over here, which is not there at the moment, but it sort of was a good indicator. Very similar to the Boxsters, how they do the Boxsters on 996, 986, they're all very similar. They do vary a little bit around here. Sometimes there's a bit of a change, but that's not to say that we don't still have an issue in this area here. Now this is the bit where the rear section, this normally sits down sort of here, and I think I've got it locked in at the moment. Oh, well, yeah, as you can see, I can push that forward. I just won't go too far, but you know, that would come down normally and come zip down here over your roof when it's down. Obviously it comes up like so when the roof's either going up or down, gets itself out of the way, lets you store the roof back into this area or get the roof back in place, and then just bang, pushes back in place. Now, I saw a couple of silly things that were happening with it as well, so that might be a bit interesting. But let's get all the hydraulic leaks sorted out first, and we'll have this out in a second, and we'll be able to show you what you send away to be redone. It's not a hard job. Okay, so something to notice though, you've got this seal here. There's like a washer sitting there, sorry, not a seal, it's like a copper washer. I think they had one in between. I'm going to try and remember now. Let me just pull this off and not lose anything. Try and do this one-handed as always. The last thing you want to do with what I'm doing here is drop anything down here somewhere. I'll just check. I think it was just the one. I don't think they had there might have been one in between. Yeah, there was. Sorry. Okay, so there is one in between as well. Of course, yeah, we'd have to seal. So these two copper washers come off, etc. You don't actually have to pull the hydraulic motor out. You can leave it all in there. It just fits between here. You know, that's it's, as I said, just. So pretty much once you've got that out, you've got. So just to be very clear on the video, this here is the forward. So this is on the front, right up next to the hydraulic pump, and equally what will happen is they do the same thing is the one that is going to be going for the return for the hydraulic pump. So basically pushing fluid one way, then pushing fluid the other way. It's not pushing, but absorbing it back the other way. That is on the same side. Now, I don't think it'd make a big difference, but as you can see from the as I pull this off here, and once again, don't lose. Then there's one more copper little washer sitting on there. See that a bit better there. Light's a bit terrible, but as you can see how these holes. So this is what drives your hydraulic fluid sort of through, and it allows the fluid to sort of go back and forth. So pretty much, just the thing to remember is because you'll get it backwards otherwise. And the last thing you want to do is have your red one over here, because what's going to happen is one arm's going to want to go one direction, one's going to want to go the other direction, and then you are in some deep trouble to get yourself out of. But yeah, what I'll do, I'll just take this one out, but I think what you'll get the idea that this is not a difficult job to get sorted. But just so I don't drop any washers, I'm just going to put the phone down for a second. All right, because you've got to send this whole unit out to be done, what I suggest is put everything back into place. So keep your red on one side, as we've done here, and just reminds you to put the red with the red. You don't really need to know which one's up and which one's down. You just need to know that red went here, and you've got it the right way around. Now, that being said, that's great up until we then pull this unit out and we find out, hang on, have we got a issue where somebody could mistakenly pull one of these red ones off, and do we need to mark the other side of the hydraulic ram as well? So let's pull that out. But yeah, that's how we'll leave that one. And even your little clips, it can't hurt to just throw them back onto the spot where they came off. And just, for the sake of not losing things, sometimes it's just as easy to, hang on, bring that over there, just so you don't lose stuff, because I'm good at losing. Ask anyone about starter motors with me, but after we take this out, you can just pop it back on. It's easy, to access, and etc, etc. All right, so what we've got here now is our hydraulic lines coming through there. So as you can see, this job, Porsche want an absolute nightmare amount of money for, and when I get that, apparently mechanics with Porsche is very difficult compared to every other brand on the market. It's probably clipped in down here somewhere. This is where two hands work better than one, but I'm going to try and see if we can do it with one hand as well. I've got one of my hydraulic lines is just a bit snared down there. So put my camera down for a minute. Actually, it literally was that about, well, not a minute, 2 seconds. So here we go. So this is the bugger that gives you all that trouble. Still got one clip on there. Hang on. Before we break something or find out that we should have spent a little bit more time on something. Yeah, it's going to want to filter through there. Righto, hang it out. Yep. And let me just feel where that goes under. Oh yeah, yep. It's all right. I can feel it now, but there is a reason for what they do there. I understand why. It wants to clear all the mechanisms and bits and pieces so you don't end up fixing this thing only to find out that you've got another problem because you've just gone straight through your hydraulic line. So this is the little unit that gives you all the trouble. And what I was saying just before is, yeah, of course, you want to be careful that you don't get it back. So basically, you want to start identifying what is what. And in this case, which is the up and which is the down, etc., etc., so that when you get this thing back, you don't, number one, put it upside down, which I think would be virtually, I'm going to say impossible, but no, you could definitely muck it. Oh, yeah, no, I don't think it would. Anyway, but the good thing is you've got the other one on the other side to also have a look at if worst comes to worst, if you start getting forgetful, where you can start to see just how it all works, where the black little fella is there, which is, right, so straight away, you can see straight away that if we were to mark this, the way to mark it would be to ensure that you have marked here that this is the red. This is the lead that comes from here is the red. Hang on, come around. God, this car's dirty at the moment. Embarrassing but true. Yeah, so that's the red, and this here is the bottom end that's going into the towards the driver's seat, and yeah, basically it's this seal here that leaks, and once that starts leaking, your life becomes a little bit painful, and that's just all fixed there. But just trying to see if they can leak from there. I'm sorry, my light's over there. That would have been clever. But they do a full seal kit up in Queensland on these things. I just, I can't see why. I know it's Porsche, but I don't know why our hydraulic guys, if they've got seals the right size. Sorry, my light is terrible here. It is absolutely shocking. I've been working in the dark in the shed a little bit today. It follows my mood, I think. No, that's not true. But it has been a bit of a troublesome day. Anyway, all things... That's more to do with drugs and my heart rubbish, but I'll put that back on after. But yeah, pretty sure it's that seal there that actually does most of the leaking. And you can feel, actually, it's pretty much like, but because they don't, this end here, I don't think they seal. Oh, no, I could be wrong. See, that doesn't literally move. That's just the base. But I think you'll find there'll be a seal there too. So yeah, not sure. We'll let the experts in hydraulics deal with that. But anyway, as you can see, Porsche, if your roof starts to go a little bit sort of like it just doesn't have the energy to get up and down, 9 times out of 10, it will be this fella here, and you can top them up through the sides here and, over here. And what was it, the front? I remember now. Oh, goodness. And there's been months I'll be back on this car. I have to check that, to be honest. But yeah, we use these sort of things over here somewhere in the mess with a bit of tube on it. So we'll put the hydraulic fluid in there, run a bit of a flexible hose off that, and then just suck it up, bang, in we go, and fill it up. And 9 times out of 10, it will. It'll just be that you've run low on hydraulic fluid over the years, and it just needs a bit of a top up. In my case, it was coming out just as fast as it went in, which was not the desired thing, but that's it. You're not going to see this on video, but I am actually going to pull this other one out and send it in as well. My theory is that this is the one we're going to be selling. I don't want someone to have a roof fault with it, and if one is gone, there's probably a good chance that things are starting to get a little bit average on that one. So we'll pull that one too. It does double the price. Look, you're probably looking at reconditioning it around $500 a cylinder, doing it through the guys in Queensland, which is their turnaround price. So you're literally spending $1,000 versus $500 just to get it going. But the thing is that you really, my cat's been in here. You really can absolutely get yourself something that's very reliable by doing these seals are. What's this, a 2000 and something? I think now it's 2001. So, over 20 years old. If these seals have never been done, well, you definitely, want to do both of them. So we'll do both and just get it all sorted. All right, well, there you go. There's a quick, very easy how to get your Porsche 911 convertible roof motor or hydraulics out. I had someone say to me the other day, he said, you must be so clever to work on Porsches. And I said, number one, I'm not a mechanic. Number two, I'm very much an electronics background. And number three, no, there's a lot of things about Porsches that, you as the handyman can do. But there are a few jobs that, that get where the electronics expertise for me comes into it more, which is things like, inside here where you won't see it, but where the roof catches up the top there, you can see the little orange light, I think. They have a lot of little micro switches in those, and actually they're annoying because when they go faulty, it can make this roof do some really strange things. So you really want to check all that first. So once we've got the hydraulics going, the next is electronics, and then believe it or not, I've got to work out if there's any issues with this bit here, which is that just brings the clamshell up and down. And look, I haven't had a chance to even test that just yet. Look, we might get lucky and it's absolutely fine, but I've seen a few of them over the years where, unfortunately, it's not fine. But look, the last time I hooked up, which is I've had this car over a year, so this one sat around for quite a while. I think I remember this actually working quite okay. It was just the hydraulic side, so we might be all right. But also must have been, I went sort of pulling the roof catch off, just checking the micro switches about a year ago. And I don't remember having any micro switch issues, but that's the problem with having a project like this where it gets put away for a year and just sort of, and obviously that's my health being a pain in the ass, but you just got to really try and get back onto where the hell you're at. I've got the other Porsche up here, which we're still fixing the mobiliser issue. That's been up there. That's been off the road for a couple of years at least. So, when I get back to that, again, that's the next project after this one to get finished. I want to get that back on the road for my wife. I'm still lucky to be married at the moment based on how long that's been off the road. But anyway, the car from Stuttgart. They certainly, and this, by the way, this is a very nice 911. It really is. If you look at the dirt on it, you'll probably go, righto. But this is just how they start when they've been sitting around for 12 months. When you get them finished, they are beautiful. They really are. And you'll start to really appreciate when we do a final video of this thing going with the roof down and all that. I mean, all right, my new turbo is the only reason I'm selling this. But by the same token, really, really nice. They're well appointed, beautiful dashes on them and the whole lot. They're just, this has got a nice Kenwood stereo in it, actually. It's really nice update. And as you can see in here, we've been in the back section. Basically, you can do manual movement of the roof system. So when you do get a problem, you've got to move the roof. There is ways to run a rod through the back section here and actually wind it and check the function of it manually so that you don't get stuck out in the rain. There are ways to do it outside of the hydraulics. All right. Well, I'm not going to put this. The title won't be, professional fixes hydraulics in Porsche, but this will be part one, and hopefully of how to at least get the hydraulics out if you're in this situation. Definitely don't try to fix the hydraulic seals yourself unless you do a lot of that, as part of your trade or something. I wouldn't even attempt it. I end up breaking things. The last thing, the time I did that, I did it on a Bobcat Ram, and you learn they have certain press tools and things that make life a lot easier when they're in the trade. Yeah, anyway. All right, guys, there you go. 996, 911, non-turbo Porsche. To be coming to a part two soon, running and going, and I think the last drive I had of this, which is 12 months ago, they go pretty well. All right, guys, all the best. Cheers.